I'm Kenneth, a relationship coach and a psychotherapist. Every relationship is different and every breakup is different. Work with me and you'll get professional help on your situation. And if you're in no contact, focused on personal growth, my workbook series, The Knowledge, will help you make changes like you've never made before. Available now at AskCraig.net. Hi there, I'm Coach Craig Kenneth, and in this video I'm going to be talking to you about she missed me a lot and wants to see me soon. So today we've got a kind of success story, as they put it in their email. Everybody has their own version of a success story, and I tell you guys this time and time again, not all of you will have a chance to get back with your ex. Not everybody has an opportunity. Unfortunately, sometimes those that get an opportunity can turn it around. Sometimes they don't. Sometimes the person that was broken up with hasn't really worked on themselves, hasn't really made the changes, and isn't ready to navigate when their ex comes back. Those are the people that I really feel the hardest for, because they had an opportunity, but they didn't stay motivated enough to do it. Now, a lot of times, your beliefs are going to impact how motivated you are, because so many people are only working to get their ex back and only do it if they think they have a chance. But the difficult thing about that is most of the time your ex isn't going to act like they're going to come back. Most situations your ex acts cold, distant, like they've moved on, and they're not going to come back. And so if you believe that their feelings will always stay the same and they're not going to come back, you're not likely going to stay committed to personal growth. And I really wish everybody had the mindset of, I'm going to get one more chance. How would you stay motivated if you have one more opportunity? Because most of you will hear from your ex at some point. And if you don't, the work pays off. It doesn't just go away. It's not like the skills that we teach are only for reattracting an ex. They're for attracting everybody and anybody. That's why we really love what we do here. It's because even if you don't get somebody back, all of the skills, all the personal growth, all the effort pays off for you, your mental health, and attracting new amazing people. So guys, please ignore so many of the naysayers and the negativity, especially from people that are hurting. So many of the people that are in the comments have been broken up with. They're hurting. They have major attachment issues. Some of them are not working on themselves at all. They have a negative mindset because of childhood wounds. I'm telling you objectively, seeing day in and day out, many people do hear from their ex, even if they're cold, even if they look like they're never coming back. So have the mindset that you're going to get one more opportunity and you want to be ready. And that will put you in the best position to succeed if they come back or with somebody new. So I got a kind of success story, as they put it, that I wanted to share with you guys today. They said, "Hi, Coach Craig, Victoria, and Margaret, who I know is always with us. When writing this, it's been almost 2 years since my Skype call with you, Craig, and I can now share a kind of success story with you and perhaps your followers. Still remember the happy birthday song that you opened the call with, Craig, with a smile. It really helped when I was in a dark place, midst of my depression, as it turned out." Okay, so I think what had happened is he had mentioned that it was his birthday, or he told me in the call that it was his birthday, and I sang at least part of Happy Birthday to him. I don't remember if I did like a little silly song for him or something. I don't know. But I'm glad he remembered it and that it made him feel better. Because when you're going through a breakup, man, anything can help and make a difference. He says, "Feel free to skip parts if needed. It's an old, ordinary, avoidant, and somewhat anxious situation, so I've cut the relationship and breakup parts out already. I think the journey after that is more useful to your followers. My ex and I had been together for a little over a year when we broke up in June of 2021. I went into no contact, and other than a simple text reach out with a few messages, like nothing happened after a month, nothing. Yep, avoidant. That's him, not me. The Skype call helped so much. Talking with someone who understood what I was talking about. From what I shared, you asked if she had a borderline personality disorder or some kind of trauma from her childhood that I knew of. I had suspected that there had to be something that she hadn't shared yet. But it was good to hear that you didn't think her actions were normal, that my gut feeling was right. And I could tell you, I know how hard it is to go through a breakup. Believe me, I was going to Margaret at least once a week and many times twice a week to talk about my breakup many, many years ago, because it felt so good to talk about it with somebody who understood. And eventually those conversations became about starting a channel and eventually bring her on board, incorporating her in everything we were doing. He says, after that, I got the creative healing course, but I was still pushing too hard. And after a few weeks, I was burned out from all the stress in my life and depressed. I see sometimes people try and rush through the workbooks or the course. I get it. You want to be ready for your ex to come back, but rushing, you're going to miss a lot. Take your time, 30 minutes a day. If you want to do 45 minutes a day, an hour, that's good, but really don't want to do too much because it just overwhelms you and you're going to miss a lot of things that I want you to process and think about. But the course helped a lot in moving forward and breaking down what I was anxious about. I have since then dated several women and I am continuing to improve my skills. That brings us to October of 2023, when out of the blue, I received a text from my ex. After a few texts catching up, she mentioned to meet up that she had missed me a lot. Because of a business trip, we set the date a few weeks later. Went to see her at her place because of some work being done at my place, and it was great to see her. Easy flowing conversation, and I didn't feel a need to push anything. No hooking up or kissing, but she said she wanted to see me again soon. I reached out about a week later and asked if she was free to get together. She said she was traveling a lot the next coming weeks, but seemed very interested in seeing me and suggested we meet up around Christmas. So I told her to let me know when she was free. Okay, so he did a good job. He stayed patient. I wouldn't have minded if he had tried to pursue romance a little bit when they had met up. Maybe, at least like a handhold or just something to show that you're interested in more than being platonic with her. Ideally, a kiss. Sometimes if you get the vibe that it's pushing it, you obviously don't want to push, but ideally you want her to know that you're interested in creating a romantic connection again. I waited a few days before Christmas, but I wanted to make other plans if she wasn't available. So I reached out and she suggested to meet up after the new year, but she didn't know what days she had off from work yet. So I told her to get back to me when she knew. I made other plans and had a fun few dates. At this point, it seems obvious that she isn't into seeing me and the excuses are familiar like before. But I thought, one more try. So I texted her and she texted back more than a day later and said that she would get back to me, that she was at work. And that was about a week and a half ago. So, Her interest was at least high initially, maybe because you didn't make any romantic efforts on the date. She was wondering if that was any kind of a romantic feeling for her anymore. Sometimes that does happen. It depends upon the person. Sometimes people are like, well, I don't want romance yet. It's a little too soon, but let's see how it goes. But obviously her interest level has dropped a bit. We don't know why yet, but you've handled yourself well and you haven't been pushy. At this point, I'm never reaching out again, and I'm okay with that. Of course, it affects me when something like this happens, but it's more annoying like when a friend does this. So he's gotten to a good place now where he doesn't care about the outcome. He's not attached to what happens, and that's going to keep him a lot more relaxed and confident and not putting pressure on a situation where if she's testing him, if she's wanting to see if he loses emotional self-control or get upset, she's going to be pleasantly surprised to see that he's staying calm and he's not lashing out. We're not compatible, but it would be fun to hang out and hook up. But she isn't my only hope for a future of having that and something more serious with someone else. I've come a long way in 2 years, and your work has really helped me so much, and I will continue to work on myself. Thank you so much, quote unquote, Kermit, the birthday boy. So he's done a nice job of staying centered and not being attached to what happens with this woman. We don't know what's going on. He only hung out with her one time. And we don't know what she's thinking or feeling about things. Obviously, the holidays coming up, people tend to be very busy. A lot of responsibilities and obligations are going on. And he feels like she's being distant, maybe not interested. But you know what? She came back after a couple of years. Let's see. She could come back after a couple more weeks. I wouldn't be surprised. But at this point, the good news is he's not going to be upset either way. Either they're going to hang out, have a great time. He's already kind of decided she probably isn't a good fit as a romantic partner long term. But you know what? It does feel nice to see your ex come back and show that they're interested again. And it does feel nice that when you're in that situation, you stay centered. You don't lose emotional self-control like the way you used to. You don't get triggered by things that an avoidant does or that somebody does when they're being more distant or a little bit colder. And if she's testing you, you're going to be a lot more likely to see. And if she's testing you, you're going to be a lot more likely to show the confidence that, hey, you're great either way. And that is exactly what you want to do. He needs to decide if she is right for him, not just worry about if she likes him. No, he needs to make sure that she is right. And he's done a lot of work. He's done the creative healing course, which is huge, by the way. And he continues to work on himself. So now he's feeling good about things. And he feels more okay if it doesn't go well with her or it doesn't go the way he had initially hoped with her. Because he's in a great place and he's doing well with dating and going out on other dates with other people that are excited to see him and are excited to spend time with him. And that is what we love to see for each and every one of you. That if it doesn't work out, you're okay and you're doing great in your dating life and attracting other people who may be a better fit for you. So stay motivated, everybody. Do the work. Success comes in many different ways. Okay, so hopefully this one's been helpful to you. Of course, if you want to get my help personally, you can do that on my website, askcraig.net. I do email coaching and I do Skype. You can get my creative healing course or my workbooks only on my website. But that's it for this video. I'm Coach Craig Kenneth, and I will talk with you soon.